This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Welcome to News 25. Today is Tuesday, June 29th, and I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Well, the mother of the 7-year-old that was murdered and whose body was found by hikers on Mountain Springs has been transported back to Las Vegas from Colorado to face murder charges. Samantha Moreno Rodriguez is accused of killing her son, Liam Husted, in May and leaving his body on a trail off Highway 160 up on the mountain. Moreno Rodriguez fled to Denver after the murder and is now due in a Las Vegas courtroom Wednesday for a return hearing. Well, a man from New Mexico is arrested after an investigation into sex crimes against a minor.
Nye County Sheriff's Office was investigating an attempted sex assault on a minor. The investigation used an undercover account, or UC, due to continued ongoing investigations. Contact was made with a made-up name and a social media messaging service. During the conversation, the UC advised the suspect that she was a 13-year-old female. The suspect stated that he was here for a day and was in search of sex with the minor. The suspect asked the UC many sexually explicit questions and indicated that he wanted to meet her to have sex. The UC told the suspect that she was unavailable until after her mom returned home and further stated that he had to promise that he wasn't bothered by her age. The suspect indicated that would not be a problem and continued the sexually explicit conversation, making it very clear that his intention is to have sexual intercourse with the UC despite her being 13 years of age. The suspect told the UC that he would drive from Las Vegas to meet her in Pahrump. At midnight on June 23rd, the suspect, then identified as Seth Cothran, let the UC know that he was in town and planned a meeting location at a gas station and described his vehicle as a large white and blue car. At that time, he asked the UC to step out of the gas station. That is when Cothran was detained. Law enforcement recognized Cothran from his profile picture on social media. He told deputies that he was at the gas station to purchase cigarettes and drinks and that he was on his way from New Mexico. He was read his rights. The deputy told Cothran that it was him he had been speaking with for the last 3 days. Cothran reportedly admitted that it was he who was sending the messages, however denied meeting up to engage in sexual intercourse. According to the declaration of arrest, he initially gave law enforcement a fake name. He was advised that if he did not provide his real name, he would be charged with a crime. Cothran committed the crime of luring a child away from her home with the use of a computer, system, or network with the intent to engage in sexual conduct with the child, whom he knew to be 13 years old, and enticed her to sneak out of her house away from her parents with the intent to engage in sexual conduct. He also committed the crime of attempted sexual penetration upon a child under the age of 14 and also obstruction by providing a false name during an investigation. He was arrested and transported to Nye County Detention Center for booking.
And a woman was arrested by the sheriff's office for an alleged abuse of an older person.
Deputies were dispatched to a Pahrump address for a report of an assault. Upon arrival, contact was made with the victim, who said she was punched in the face by Evanglique Mitchell. The victim stated that she had loaned her vehicle to a resident of Mitchell's household. She said that she had a fight on the phone with Mitchell in reference to her picking up her vehicle, and she told her she would be picking up the vehicle that day. When the victim arrived, she saw Mitchell standing near the mailboxes with a bottle-like object in her hand. When she pulled into the driveway of the residence, Mitchell followed her vehicle, and when she stopped, Mitchell opened her door and punched her in the face. The victim said that Mitchell continued to attack her and chased her towards the entrance of the trailer park. She stated that after being punched in the head, she almost passed out. Mitchell was allegedly yelling that she was going to kill her. The victim's glasses were broken from being punched. A witness saw the assault. When asked for her side of the story, Mitchell stated that she did not have a problem with giving back the car, but she did request money because she had just filled the tank with gas. While speaking with Mitchell, a dent was noticed on the driver's door of the vehicle. Mitchell claimed that she did not know what had happened to it. She said she opened the door and, "We had a problem." The deputy pointed out a footprint on the door, and when it was compared to Mitchell's shoe, it matched. When confronted, Mitchell said, "We was fighting." Mitchell was subsequently arrested for abuse of an older vulnerable person. She was transported to Nye County Detention Center for booking.
Thank you to Missy Kohler for that report. Well, Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak has announced efforts to redouble vaccination efforts to curtail the spread of the COVID-19 Delta variant.
As of yesterday, there were 8 new COVID-19 positive cases reported in Nye County, all in Pahrump. Overall, the Southern Nevada Health District announced a one-day case increase of 740. This brings the test positivity rate up from 3.8% earlier in the month to 10.9%. The Nevada State Lab is blaming the rise on variants, mainly the Delta variant, which accounted for 16% of the cases. Dr. Mark Pandon of the Nevada State Lab said that if you're not vaccinated or have one dose of the vaccine, the probability of getting infected with SARS-CoV-2 is going up dramatically. It won't take a major exposure if you're not vaccinated. Doctors say your best defense is to get vaccinated, which is 95% effective at reducing transmission of the virus, including the Delta variant. The governor's office has said that the state will launch new mobile vaccine units for urban and rural parts of Nevada in partnership with Immunize Nevada and Tour Health. Pop-up vaccine clinics can be found all over southern Nevada where crowds seem to gather. In May, there were even vaccines offered at Las Vegas strip clubs in an effort to reach more of the population. Money is also an incentive for those that have gotten at least one dose of the vaccine with the Vax Nevada Days program that begins on July 8th. Cash and other prizes are awarded each week to state residents 12 and older who have received at least their first dose. The grand prize of $1 million will be awarded on August 26th. In Nye County, you can get your vaccine by appointment at the County Health Nurse's office by calling 775-751-7070, and there is a vaccine available for those ages 12 and up. You can also find information on COVID-19 vaccine locations across Southern Nevada at southernnevadahealthdistrict.org. Dr. Furman Leguin, the District Health Officer of the Southern Nevada Health District, sums it up by saying, getting vaccinated is the best, most effective way people can protect themselves from COVID-19.
Thank you to Missy Kohler for that report. You can also receive a COVID vaccine at many of the local pharmacies. There will also be a back-to-school fair here in Pahrump on July 31st. COVID vaccines as well as all childhood vaccinations will be available at that time. The back-to-school fair will take place in Beatty on July 23rd and in Amargosa on July 24th. News 25 will return right after this break.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back. Well, gasoline supply issues are propping up the price at the pump. Airports are reporting a shortage of security and ticket agents, and the e-cigarette company Juul pays the price for allegedly marketing to teens.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Topping our news, gauging gas as Americans get ready for the 4th of July holiday. There's a shortage of tanker truck drivers. Temporary shortages have popped up in Florida, Iowa, Washington, and Oregon. The average pump price is $3.10 per gallon. At the airport, there's a shortage of terminal workers. The TSA is offering a $1,000 signing bonus for security screeners and reservation agents. Electronic cigarette company Juul Labs is paying up for allegedly marketing to teens. The Attorney General's office in North Carolina says Juul will pay a settlement fee of $40 million. And in cuteness news, Zane Cahan is the 2021 Gerber baby, now known as the CGO, the Chief Growing Officer. Zane's mom is a breast cancer survivor.
To find out where you can see us every day, visit businessfirstam.com.
Thanks so much, Angela. Well, the Division of Industrial Relations has announced the adoption of the U.S. Department of Labor's OSHA Healthcare Emergency Temporary Standard to protect healthcare workers from contracting SARS-CoV-2, the cause of the coronavirus COVID-19. In addition to healthcare-focused emergency standards, Nevada OSHA has updated its guidance for business operations for all non-healthcare businesses here in the state of Nevada. The healthcare standards establishes new requirements for a setting where employees provide healthcare or healthcare support services, including skilled nursing, home healthcare, with some exemptions for healthcare providers who screen out patients who may have COVID-19. Well, if you're looking for some exciting racing action, Pahrump Valley Speedway may just be the ticket. The track hosts races every other weekend. Daniel Bruner competes driving a Cam Coupe, and if you're not familiar with that type of race car, Bruner explains.
Well, it starts off with a Monte Carlo chassis, and it's based on a 37 Ford Coupe. Runs with a 305 Chevy engine, and then a 9-inch rear end out of a Ford.
Why do you prefer driving this car?
Oh, just the open wheel. Too much fun.
Yeah?
Too much fun on that dirt.
Have you raced other types of vehicles?
No, this is it. This is it. Started 2 years ago.
How do you like the dirt track?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I hope it stays open forever.
You got to buy it, I hear.
Right?
Bruner belongs to a group of drivers who are Cam Coupe enthusiasts, and they enjoy the friendly competition.
We just race against each other, and we do have a Facebook page that's a Cam Coupe based Facebook page that you can watch our races on. That they videotape every time we race, every other week.
How are you doing the stats right now?
I might be in first now.
Well, they've had to cancel a couple races because of this extreme weather. To see a list of upcoming races at Pahrump Valley Speedway, visit their website, PaHrumpValleySpeedway.com, and they're also on Facebook. News 25 will return right after this break.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
And this just in right now, the Pahrump Valley Farm Rescue and Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies are working a vehicle fire on Basin Avenue between Linda and David Street. The roadway is temporarily closed in that area. Well, we're going to go to John Kohler right now with your weather report about what's coming up, especially in the season of monsoons.
A North American monsoon is set to bring much needed rainfall across the desert southwest this week amid a relatively late start to the monsoonal season in many locations across the region. The monsoon season officially starts on June 15th across the southwestern United States, but many cities are currently suffering from a severe drought that has gripped the region through most of 2021. Las Vegas, Phoenix, Albuquerque, Tucson, Arizona, El Paso, Texas, just a few of the cities that have been drought struck since the start of the spring. Now, thunderstorms are expected to spread across much of the Four Corners regions through the midweek. And during the afternoons, thunderstorms will be most numerous as they pop up across the high terrain and drift into the lower valleys. Thunderstorms are capable of producing gusty winds and dust storms, known as haboobs. Visibility can rapidly drop to near zero, practically turn day into night in the most intense haboobs. Motorists must be cautious for these events when traveling. Also, any intense downpour from a thunderstorm could cause streams or creek beds known as arroyos to rapidly fill with dangerously fast-flowing water. Dry lightning can occur when there is a dry air mass at the surface where rain falling from a thunderstorm evaporates prior to hitting the ground. And even though the rain doesn't reach the ground, lightning will still travel to the surface. This can be especially concerning because there's thunderstorms can often be cause of wildfires, and the winds fan the flames. Remember 8 years ago, the Carbon 1 fire that started by lightning took 28 days to contain. 28,000 acres went up in flames. Many are still recovering from the fire after the property damage to Trout Creek area of Mount Charleston, and that fire lasting over a month. For News 25, I'm John Kohler.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studio. Snazzy tie, Kohler. Way to go. Hey, let's check out the weather temperatures as we head up and down the state. Fernley and Fallon, you're stuck at 102. Carson City, just a titch cooler at 97. Good going, guys. Tonopah, all the way down to 89 degrees, and that feels like the most pleasant place to be on earth at this moment. Goldfield, similar, 90 degrees out in Beatty. You're guarding the gateway, aren't you? 100 degrees, triple digits all the way. 105 to Amargosa, and 102 in Las Vegas, 117 in Death Valley, and here in the paradise of Pahrump where the air is pure. The grass is green, and we all can do math in our heads. It's 101 degrees currently. 103 was the high earlier, and that's 2 degrees cooler. See how I did that? Awesome. South winds to 14 miles per hour. 5:29, the sun rose this morning in all its glory. It's setting this evening at 8:05. We'll look forward to that. Should be some beautiful colors coming through the mostly clear skies. So that means some clouds, and that means pretty colors. I like it. Humidity 27%. It smells like clouds tomorrow. Yes, it is. Clouds tomorrow. In fact, we might even see some smattering of rain here and there, maybe some desert lightning. Who knows? High of 98 degrees. The rest of the week, it's going to be sneaking between 103 and 106. Clear sky is going to come and go. We might see some exciting rain action on Saturday, but other than that, it should be pretty deserty Awesome. Hope you enjoy it. Back to the desk. Here's Deanna.
Thanks, John. Well, June is Alzheimer's Awareness Month, and today we bring you one man's story of hope. After participating in clinical trials for a new Alzheimer's drug, which recently was approved by the FDA, he feels he's benefited from the therapy. Erica Foreman has more.
This is the kind of idea I want to do, though, Ron, like your mom and dad.
A trip down memory lane can be a challenge for 64-year-old Ron DeChant.
It's so frustrating because I was always really, I was always able to understand who's who and all that stuff, and all of a sudden it's like, it's not easy.
Ron was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2016.
Things weren't like clicking, you know, I would say something or tell him a story or something and it didn't register.
Before this started, I was able to do all kinds of stuff, and all of a sudden it's like, what's going on with my brain? You know, something is not working here.
Ron enrolled in a clinical trial at Cleveland Clinic for an IV infusion called aducanumab. The new drug targets amyloid, a protein that forms in the brain, creating plaques, which are believed to cause dementia.
When this antibody, this medication aducanumab, stick to this amyloid, it helped the immune system to identify them and remove them.
Aducanumab recently received FDA approval for early-stage Alzheimer's disease. Dr. Tusi says the drug doesn't reverse damage or improve symptoms, but may give people more time before advanced dementia sets in.
The observation was that if people receive 10 milligram per kilogram dose, which is the highest dose, they noticed significant improvement basically in removing amyloid plaques from the brain compared to the group who did not receive this medication.
In the last year, Ron has begun to struggle to put faces with names. But since enrolling in a second trial for the drug, he believes his decline has slowed. He and his wife know it's not a cure, but they're determined to advance science.
We're trying everything we can to find answers and to help not only us, but everyone, you know, how we can do something to stop this process.
At Cleveland Clinic, I'm Erica Foreman.
Thanks so much, Erica. Well, the new drug is the first shown to slow progression of Alzheimer's disease. It should be available to patients in the coming weeks. However, it's expected to be expensive and for the time being won't be covered by insurance. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Good night.